So in this video we're going to talk about exponents. So exponents have two parts. So you have your number, which is called the base, and the base is a factor that you will multiply, and then you have your exponent. So let's say here we have the exponent of 9. So 9 is your exponent, the number of factors you multiply. This whole thing, when we look at this whole thing, it is called the power of. So we would say 3 to the power of 9. So now we have our power. We have 3 to the power of 9, and it says expressed as. So when we're going to be looking at this, when we're expressing it, all we're doing is we are going to now write it out. So it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And we keep writing it until we get it 9 times. So let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it looks like I'm going to run out of space, and 9. So I'm multiplying 3 by itself 9 times. Okay? And then if you're asked to evaluate or solve, all you're doing is actually multiplying. So you're going 3 times 3, and then you continue to multiply until you multiply the whole thing. And in this case, when you multiply the whole thing, you're going to end up with 19,683. Okay, so all I did was I kept going, what's 3 times 3, and I kept multiplying all the way down until I got the answer. Okay, so if you're also doing this, a little bit of a helpful hint is if you have a scientific calculator, you have a button on your calculator that looks like this. This on your calculator is actually a way of calculating exponents. So the x represents your base and the y represents your exponent. So if you were going to put this into your calculator, you'd plug in the number 3 first, then you'd press this button on your calculator, and then you would push in the number 9 and it'd give you the same answer. And that's how you can check. So you can do a quick check. If you expressed it in this form and then actually calculated it, the way to check it would be to go ahead and try it on your calculator if you have a scientific calculator using that button. So now look at this. So it says write each expression as a power. So here's the expression. Remember, it's been expressed to you this time. So now you're looking at it and going, so if I was to express this as a power, what would I express that? So what is my base going to be? So if we look at that, we see the base is the number that appears that's being multiplied. So my base is going to be 4, and then my exponent is how many times am I multiplying it by itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So my exponent is going to be 5. I'm going to get you to do this one on your own. So you're going to pause the video. You're going to try this one out right now, okay? So go ahead. What would that look like? Okay, so welcome back. Now you are going to correct the answer with me and so make sure you're right. So you looked at this and you said your base. What is the base? The base is 8. That's the number that's being multiplied. Once it is being multiplied, then you're counting how many times. So I'm looking at it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 to the power of 8. So now we're going to go ahead and solve or evaluate the above problems or the above powers. So here we have 4 to the power of 5, and like I said before, if you have a calculator, you can go ahead and do it that way, or you can just go ahead and now multiply each one. So you go 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and when I do that, I get my answer for my first one as 1024. I could have also used, remember that button on your calculator of x to the power of y, and if I pushed into my calculator 4 as my base x and then y as 5, I would have gotten the exact same answer. Again, I want you to try this one on your own first, and I'm not going to give you the answer this time. I'm going to leave it and you're going to show it to me in class. So you're going to try that one on your own and you're actually going to give me the answer. Okay, this is the last one that we're going to do together. So again, it says again, express each power and evaluate. So here I have something with a decimal, something a little bit different, something you haven't seen yet. So again, the same way we did it before. So I take 2.3 multiplied by itself. How many times? I look here, it's 4 times. So 2.3 times 2.3. And I'm going to write it in 4 times. Now I go ahead and again, I can do this manually, or I can calculate it. So I can go 2.3 times 2.3 and then continue to multiply it, and I'll end up with an answer. The answer I end up with is 27.5. 0.9841, and that would be my evaluation. So I've evaluated it. So I expressed it first, and then I evaluated it. And again, I want you to do the next one on your own, and I want you to be able to have it ready for me in class. So again, express it first, and then go ahead and evaluate it. Okay?